Here at Northern Sun, it's much more than just a business for the Anthonys. They offer their guests the complete wine tasting experience, from vine to table. Yes, thanks a lot, Steve. I'm here at Midway Industrial Park in Negaunee Township. Fire officials just moments ago actually told me the fire began in that vehicle right there. There was a mechanic working on that car. While he was working on it, it sparked, caught fire. He did try to put out the blaze himself, could not, had to call 911. Now, this was the scene earlier today. The fire broke out just after 3. It did start in the Best Darn Garage, which is adjacent to the International Auto House. They share an office right between those two structures. As you can see, though, they do have a lot of water throughout all these businesses. I see workers trying to clear some things out. Thanks, Greg. I'm back here at the TV6 Mother's Day Craft Show. It's really picking up. Everybody walking around looking for those last-minute Mother's Day gifts. I'm here, though, with Jeff Hubner. He came all the way from Port Washington, Wisconsin. It's about his 6th time here. And before we begin this interview, we have a Rally Frog song for Greg Trick. For the Cubs tonight. How cool are these? You can actually play these frogs. These are works of art. Jeff, your wife paints all these?
Yes, she hand paints it freehand. She amazes me constantly. I can't believe what she can do.
Yeah, so wife's the artist. We have the business executive right here. So you've been coming here 6 years. What's your most popular frogs?
Probably the baby frogs. Let me grab one. They have that spring peeper sound that everyone seems to
let's hear the
love.
peeper sound. That does sound like a peeper. That's perfect. And we actually have this huge frog over here. You have to hear this. That's pretty awesome. So a frog for literally everyone. And you're going to be here all weekend, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeff. I'll let you get back to it. So come on down. The hours, of course, you still have time tonight. They run till 9 o'clock. Tomorrow you can head here from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. And on Sunday from 11 to 4. Those hours, again, of course, are on our website. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio, Greg. I'm Sophie Erber reporting in Marquette for TV6 News.
All right. Thanks, Sophie. I know Carl was pretty excited about that peeper frog.
That's right. Thanks so much, Steve. As you said, it just kicked off about an hour ago here at the Superior Dome in Marquette. There's actually a lot of people here already, but I found someone who came all the way from Toledo, Iowa, not Ohio, with Art on the Farm. I'm here with Vicki Ferris. How you doing, Vicki?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes, this is Vicki's first time here, and she has some beautiful stuff all made out of barbed wire. So tell us how you got into making barbed wire art.
I started 17 years ago.
This building was a bank, but Threefold Vineyards chose this not just because of the location and its history in the community, but they have significant family ties to it as well.
My relatives have all touched those doors and walked through them. So
I know they incentivize the students to bring in as many cans as they can, and it's kind of a friendly competition because the winning class, as I hear, usually get some kind of a pizza party. Right now, we actually have a fresh total behind us just from moments ago, just at this weigh station out here. I'm calling it, Greg Trick coined this phrase earlier. I can't take credit. He called it the TV6 frozen food aisle, and in the TV6 frozen food aisle, we have 20,410 pounds of food, and that's just moments ago, of course. Trucks still loading in, and folks, you still have time to get down here. If you have donations you haven't brought in yet.
Like I always say, I just say it once, get your cans down here and donate to this year's Canathon.
Get your cans down here. Show us your cans. Steve and Greg, back to you in the studio. Yes, thanks, Steve. As you can see right here, the action is just getting started. Right there actually is a groomer. They're trying to get this trail packed down. Of course, we did have very warm temperatures today. They've been contending with melting snow, the sun angle, and on the stage right behind me here, the Governor Rick Snyder, is expected to speak in about 15 minutes or less. And of course, we'll have continuing coverage of that on your TV6 Late News tonight. But joining me now is the president of the Upper Peninsula Sled Dog Association, Ron Houston. Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Ron, of course, I just mentioned the story of this week, really. They're not dealing with blizzards or frigid temperatures. It's the warmth that we're having. So how are the trails?
If it's not one, it's the other. We've had 2 blizzards in the last 3 years. Now we got this warm weather, but so it's just different.
Thanks, Ron. And Steve, of course, we'll be back here at the start of the race at that gate right there in less than a half an hour. The dogs will be lining up. We'll send it back to you for now in the studio. In Marquette, I'm Sophie Erber for TV6 News. Steve?
All right. Thanks a lot, Sophie. Have a good time tonight.
Yes, thanks, Greg. As you can hear, we're here at the UP 200. It is loud. The crowd is so excited. The first racer just took off about a minute ago. Behind me is Sylvain Robillard of Quebec, Canada. He is rearing and ready to go.
As we speak, 13 sled dog teams are racing across the snowpack trails in the northern UP.
They're all vying for the title of UP 200 Sled Dog Champion. Tonight I was downtown Marquette where it all began. like that, the 2017 UP 200 Sled Dog Championship was underway. Also in the crowd this year, Governor Rick Snyder at his very first UP 200. The governor had a full day of winter activities, despite it being one of the warmest races on record.
After more than a year of non-action, State Representative John Keevala said something had to be done.
He's taken dozens of complaints about verbal and sexual harassment from employees of the Marquette County Department of Health and Human Services, and this evening he broke their silence.
I've been working on this, and I've dealt with this every day for the last 8 weeks in some form or another.
Whether it's emails or phone calls from crying employees, State Representative John Keevala has been inundated with complaints from state health workers. These alleged incidents are not just taking place at the Marquette office. Keevala says his office hears from employees at the Alger and Schoolcraft County Department of Health and Human Services office as well. Yesterday, Keevala's office gave a letter to Governor Rick Snyder, asking him to look into the situation and take immediate action. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophie Erber.
And I'm Greg Trick. We begin tonight with sad news out of Lansing, the death of our state representative from Marquette.
47-year-old John Keevala was found dead in his downstate home this morning from apparent suicide, just hours after being released from jail. Police aren't saying much tonight. We do know there is a death investigation ongoing at Keevala's downstate home on the 200 block of Chestnut Street in Lansing. Police do not think foul play was involved, and the official cause of death has not yet been released. Keevala was arrested last night under the suspicion of drunk driving. He was arrested and charged in 2015 for OWI. Following that arrest, Keevala admitted to struggling with alcohol addiction. Sources say when Keevala was released from jail this morning, he appeared visibly distraught.
He called Marty, my chief of staff, and asked if Marty come pick him up. So Marty did. And they had a good conversation coming home, talked about things, and the counsel was, John, take a deep breath. We're with you, and this will pass, but, don't make any decisions right now, because that's kind of what the conversation was about. He had to make some really tough decisions. And I thought that talking with Marty this morning, that was pretty good counsel, but then from there, as we kept checking to see how he was doing, then all of a sudden we weren't getting any response.
Senator Casperson also said, quote, "Frankly, the working relationship that the UP delegation formed was the result of John's outreach and personality," end quote. And on the Senate floor today, Governor Rick Snyder commenting on Keevala's tragic passing.
We've been told that Representative Keevala has passed in terms of he's had a number of issues in his life, and apparently he took his own life. So our thoughts and prayers are with he and his family. Very sad day. He was a great guy. Actually, Brian and I were both with him most of Friday. So we'll miss him. So just want to share that sad piece of news and make sure that everyone knew that our thoughts and prayers are with he and his family.
Friends and colleagues tonight are remembering Keevala as a tireless worker who fought hard for Upper Michigan. The Marquette County Democratic Party releasing a statement tonight saying in part, quote, "Representative Keevala will be remembered for his dedication to public service. This was an area he excelled in. He had the unique ability to reach across party lines to pass legislation that affected lives across our state," end quote. On behalf of TV6 and Fox UP, our thoughts and prayers are with John, his wife Sandy, and his 2 children. May he rest in peace. We will have continuing coverage and reaction tomorrow on your TV6 Morning News. Just some of the items in this meth response trailer are what upset officers use to stay safe when cleaning up a meth site. Filled with everything from breathing apparatuses to flame-resistant suits,